Well, we have a fellow here tonight on Consumer Spotlight who's going to clear up some of our confusion. His name is Mike Meagher. He is the general manager of Action Dodge Discount Center. Hello, Mike.
Hi, how are you, Bob?
Fine, how are you?
Fine.
Welcome to Focus, Delaware.
Thank you.
You know, with unemployment and inflation being as high as it is, I guess it might be a bad time for car dealers?
Not really. On the contrary, the last 3 months at our dealership, we've been very successful. They've been record-breaking months. I think most of the dealerships that are in this area are working harder, cutting costs down, cutting overhead down, and selling a lot of automobiles. We've been very pleased.
So you've been doing okay?
Yeah, we've been doing real well. In the month of March, we sold 141 cars. I think that was tops in the state of Delaware. And it was hard work, a lot of advertising, a lot of aggressiveness, and meeting the needs of the customer. We're trying to get a little more consumer-oriented because people today in today's living are very careful what the dollars are spending. And the dealership that attacks the problem, gives them the most for the money, seems to get the sale now. So that's what we're directing our attention to.
Now, what kind of people are now in the car buying market?
Well, all types. I think you're a middle-class worker. We have a lot of Chrysler employees up here, and a lot of people that work at factories and so on are very conscious about their monthly payments. And they're looking for the best deal they can get, the best interest rate they can get, and we shop around, try to give them the best rate we can. We do a lot of advertising on monthly payments, and that seems to inform people that they can still buy an automobile and not have to spend a lot of money for them. A lot of people are going towards leasing cars now, which means that they don't have to put $2,000 and $3,000 down to get a car payment in the range of $130 or $40 a month, which is definitely affordable.
Yes.
So we've been doing a lot of extra work in order to keep our car sales up, as most dealers in this area have been doing.
What kind of cars are people buying now? Are they buying new cars or used cars?
There's a big trend towards used cars. The used car market has gotten to be one that people can stay in a range of $2,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 and get a dependable transportation. They may have to spend a couple dollars on, but their trade-ins, when they're coming into the dealership, they're finding out that their old car is worth an awful lot of money, and this is a big plus for them. They might have only spent $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for the car back in '77, '78, '79. But the car is retaining its value because there's a big demand for used cars right now, so that they're getting a lot of return. So when they look at that sticker of $7,000 and $8,000 on a new car, their old car is now worth $3,000 and $4,000 and $5,000. So the money difference that they actually have to put out of their pocket is a lot less than they really think it's going to be. And they've been very, very pleased and bought a lot of cars for that reason. So trade-ins right now, if someone has a trade-in on a car and it's 50, 60, 70,000 miles and still not shot, it's a good time to get rid of it because we're buying every car we can get our hands on, every used car.
You know, the problem is you're just not buying a car. You have to buy the financing and the interest rates that come along with it. And right now with inflation, isn't that a problem for the prospective car buyer, whether it's new or used?
Well, I think the media creates a lot. Everybody watches what the prime rate's doing. Everybody tries to say the prime's 18%. And really that has very little effect on what people can borrow money for. People can borrow money at 12%. If they're in a credit union, they can borrow money at 16% from all the local banks. And the rates are really not that high. Prime rate has no immediate effect on the car business. It may if you're going to take a long-term mortgage on a house. But financing is available. There's a lot of very aggressive banks in this town that do financing. And we have Chrysler Credit, Ford has Ford Motor Credit Company, and GMAC for Chevrolet. And these people are constantly trying to allow people credit and to give them decent rates so that the car business doesn't come to a halt. So there's plenty of credit and low interest rates around, contrary to what the newspapers may write.
We've all seen the commercials about the rebates that Chrysler's put into effect. Are they still in effect now?
Oh yes, Chrysler has several programs right now. They have a rebate program on their trucks, a rebate program on their import cars, and they went a little bit farther. I think the customer got kind of tired of hearing rebate, rebate, rebate. They've held the line on price increases, number one.
Good.
Prices are lower today than they were back in 1981. Number two, they're giving a longer warranty on the automobile. They're giving a 550 warranty on the car. That means the customer has 50,000 miles to drive the car, and most everything that in the car is covered. Plus the fact that along with that 550, they're giving a maintenance guarantee on the car. That means the only thing the customer really has to pay for is oil and gas for 5 years. They'll do tune-ups free for them. They'll do oil changes, filters, everything in the car for 5 years. Plus, they'll give a 5-year rust-proofing guarantee. So not only are they giving away money, but they're trying to say that we're building cars better today in this country than we were 3, 4, 5 years ago, and are backing them up longer. So now it's a pretty good time to buy an automobile, especially with the Chrysler guarantees. AMC has guarantees, and Ford and GM are coming along with the same type of programs.
You know, Chrysler was bailed out by the federal government, as we all know. Did that bailout work?
Oh yes, without question. Chrysler will show a profit this year.
Great.
What it did, it streamlined their organization. They cut about half of the white-collar workers in the company. They came out with new products. They decided they had to lose the image of a gas-guzzling company, and they were creating big cars all the way through. And now they're starting to build front-wheel drives, high-mileage cars. In fact, Chrysler's EPA estimates the highest in the country. It's up to 28 miles per gallon, and that's good up till 1985 by government standards. So they have the products now, and Mr. Iacocca has turned Chrysler Corporation around. In fact, George Steinbrenner of the New York Yankees, the owner of the New York Yankees, last night made a statement that he's pushing Lee Iacocca for President of the United States.
Let's take a look at some of the new car models that you now have in effect. We'll be seeing this in a second. What's this?
This is a new convertible. Chrysler is leading the way once again with the first time a convertible has been on the scene since 1973. It's a Dodge 400. That's a Dodge Diplomat, showing that they still have room for 6 passengers and that they still have a big car to offer. The Diplomat gets the whole family done. That's your Murata, which is your luxury sports car. Two-door version, a car that can be bought in a $7,000, $8,000 price range, and has console, bucket seats, everything's sporty. That's a Dodge 400, a coupe, which is not the same style of the convertible that we looked at first. So you can get it in 2-door, 4-door, or a convertible, or a station wagon if you go to the Chrysler product. That's a look at the Aries K car, which comes 2-door, 4-door station wagon. That's an Aries, an Aries SE, which is a top-of-the-line wood side grain model. That shows you the structure of the car and the aerodynamics that's made for wind resistance, so that the gas mileage is slightly increased.
Well, thanks very much, Mike.
Well, I appreciate you having me on the show.
And thank you. The winners of our giveaway, Mike. The question was, what Focus Delaware sponsor specializes in the sale of flowers? The answer was Boyd's Flowers. And Stephen Blades of West 19th Street wins gift certificate for dinner for 2. And Lynn Murphy in Claymont wins also the other prize. And now we're going to tell you about next week's show, Barrister Restaurant and Restaurant Corner. Philip Chaples, the director of the Port of Wilmington, the Kim Milner Band, and WXDR radio station, Richard Chalfant, the architect of Superfine Lane in Wilmington. A great lineup for next week. See you on next week's show.